Good afternoon, everyone. I am Miss Graciela Mabaling, your teacher for today's topic. So, welcome to our Unit 2 Module 1 first lesson. So, as we start, may I request Miss Mariel De Palio to lead our prayer?
Okay, everyone, let us bow down our head and close our eyes. Lord, thank you for the blessing that you've given to us in this day. Lord, continue to guide us and continue to shower more learnings and most especially give us good health as we continue our lesson for this day. This I hope, we pray, Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Miss De Palio. So, in the first quarter, you learned that there are different materials in the environment. And for this quarter, we will be introducing to you the diverse kinds of living things and the processes and the interactions they go through. So, before we proceed to our module Unit 2 Module 1 topic, so how have you been? How has been your rest? And how were you able to cope up with your Unit 1? Yes, Miss Risa May, can you share? Can you share to us? How have you been?
We're fine. I'm fine.
Oh, that's good. That's very good to hear. So, our first topic for Module 1 is entitled From Cell to Organism. Specifically, we're going to discuss today the levels of organization. So, before we proceed to that topic, I will be requesting Miss Risa May Morales, as per agreed by everybody, that in every lesson, there is someone who will give an icebreaker. So take the floor now, Miss Morales.
Okay. Morning, classmates. So, for today, I'm the one who is assigned to give the icebreaker. So, our icebreaker for today is entitled The Last Letter Word. So, as the game master, I'm going to give a word, then the last letter of the word I'm going to give would be the first letter that the next person would going to give. So the next person will be given a 5 seconds time limit, and failure to give answer within that time limit would mean out in the game. So let's start. So the first word that I'm going to give is tissue. And the next person that would be give an answer is Bethany. Bethany,
Ecosystem.
Maybell,
M is for molecule.
Merel,
Okay. Endure.
So the three of you got the correct answer. So I'm going to give the next word. The next word would be the next word would be stimuli. Meryl,
Illness.
Maybell,
Saturn.
Bethany. So Bethany did not give her answer within 5 seconds. It means she will be out in the game. So I'm going to give the third word. Reproduce. Maybell. So, Maybell did not give her answer within 5 seconds. It means Meryl win the game.
Yay! So, thank
So,
you.
Meryl.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Rita May Morales. And congratulations to our winner, Miss Mariel De Palio. So can we give a hand to Miss De Palio? That's very good. So I can see that you have enhanced your vocabulary on different words that we've encountered in science. So we're going to start our lesson for this morning. So, have you brought or prepared the materials that I've requested from our last meeting? I believe that you have
Okay.
prepared the materials for this activity. So, our
Yes,
activity for
ma'am.
today is very good. So, our activity is entitled Ballpen Disassembly. So, please show your ballpens. Okay, that's good. So, I will be giving you um, 30 seconds to disassemble your pens and kindly show how you disassemble your pens on the screen. So, Miss Meryl, please turn on your camera. Again, I will be giving 30 seconds only so that we can proceed to the next step. So, as a reminder, this ball pen is only used as a representation. It does not reflect any ideas or theories in this subject. Okay, ready? So your timer starts now. Kindly show it to the screen. Okay, time's up. Very good. May I see the disassembled pen? Okay. So, we will discuss one by one the parts of a disassembled pen. So, we have here the cap. And next, we have the barrel shell and the ink tube and the other parts. So, I have a question. What do you think are the function or what is the specific function of this part? This is the ink tube. What do you think is the function of this part of the pen? Who would like to answer? Yes, Miss Fabrio.
The use of this part is to hold the ballpoint and the ink.
Yes, that's good. That's a very good explanation of yours. So, Miss Fabrio said that the function of this ink tube is, of course, to hold the ink inside. Next is the barrel shell. Miss Risa May, can you share what you think the function of this barrel shell?
Function of this barrel shell is to cover the ink tube, and the ballpoint.
Okay, that's good, Miss Risa May. So, Miss Risa May said the function of this barrel shell is to hold the ink tube. Next, this one. How about Miss Borromeo? What do you think is the function of this part, the cap?
The cap, I think its function is to secure the barrel shell, the ink tube, and the ballpoint.
Okay, very good. So Miss Bethany said that this one is to protect the barrel tube, of course. Yes, it might leak. So it has to be protected by the cap. So that's a very good observation of yours. And from that activity, what have you observed or realized, Miss Miss Dipalio? Kindly share your thoughts about this activity.
I realized that this ball pen composes of different parts that where where the parts are called shell, ink tube, and the cup.
Okay, so very good, Miss Dipalio. Miss Dipalio said that from this activity, she observed that there are different parts of a pen. So that's correct. So since that a pen has different parts, what do you think will happen if this part does not function or does not fulfill its roles? Yes, Miss Borromeo.
Pardon, ma'am.
What do you think will happen if these roles or functions of the parts of the pen will not work?
It will not totally work because some parts are missing.
Okay. So how about you, Miss Fabrio? What do you think will happen if some parts are missing and does not function properly?
It will not function proper well, or it will not, as a whole, the ball pen will not function its uses properly.
Okay. That's a good observations of yours, Miss Fabrio. So moving on, we are done now with our first activity. So let us start our lesson from cell to organism, the levels of organization. So I have here in the next slide a picture. So what can you see in the picture? Yes, Miss Borromeo.
These are the different organ systems.
Very good, Miss Borromeo. So yes, this is a picture of a human body with the different organ systems. So, Miss Dipalio, can you identify what organ system is being shown in the picture? Can you give an organ system that these parts of the human body belong? Just one that you can recall in the past lessons.
Reproductive system, ma'am.
Okay, so what more, Miss Morales?
Excretory system, ma'am.
Excretory, and another one, Miss Fabrio. What organ system can you see?
Respiratory system,
Respiratory. Okay, so you have mentioned the reproductive, the excretory, and the respiratory system. So, what is the function of the reproductive system? Since you gave that example, kindly explain, Miss Dipalio, what is the function of the reproductive system? Okay, we will move on to the next. Yes, Miss Risa May Morales, what is the function of the excretory system?
The function of excretory system is to eliminate the waste in our body.
Okay, that's correct. And Miss Fabio, what is the function of the respiratory system?
Respiratory system is it is the it is responsible for our breathing and it converts oxygen into carbon dioxide.
As a waste material. So that's correct. Thank you, Miss De Palio, Miss Morales, and Miss Fabrio. So you have recalled the past lessons about the organ systems and their functions. So you have given the excretory system, the respiratory system, and the reproductive system. So each of the systems has different functions, as you said a while ago. So what do you think will happen if this different organ systems does not function accordingly? Who can give their answer? Yes, Miss Borromeo, can you give your answer?
If one organ doesn't function properly, for example, ang lungs, if
Yes.
ang nagubaan ang aton lungs, so hindi ta mayo kaginawa, which is nga malid na siya sa death kung maglala na gid ang imo nga ano sa imo lungs.
Okay. So, thank you, Miss Borromeo. How about you, Miss Morales? What will happen if one organ system fail to fulfill its function?
So, if our organ system will not function properly, our body will not function properly also
Yes.
because our organ system are interrelated with each other.
Yes. Okay. That's it. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, that's correct, Miss Morales. So, Miss Morales said that if one failed to perform its function, it will affect the whole organism, which is correct because they are interrelated with one another. So, like what we have done in our activity in the ballpen disassembly, you also said that when other parts are not functioning well, it will affect the pen and it will not be able to perform its function. So that's a brilliant idea, Miss Morales. Thank you for that. And as we continue, you have said that the organ systems are interrelated. So I will show you a video of what might happen if one of these organs or organ systems will be damaged. So, I will present now the video. Can you see the video? It. So that's the video. In the video, it is showed that the human body, specifically when a smoker inhales the smoke from the cigarette, it goes down to the lungs and it affects the organ systems and it can cause diseases. So in that video, it is said that smoking can cause lung cancer, heart disease, and also emphysema. So from that, what can you conclude Miss Fabrio? After watching the video, what can you conclude about smoking and how it affects an organism?
Based on the video that presented, um, small particles from the cigarette that makadto sa may cells, then ang cell makadto sa tissues, and then it can affect the organ and the whole body.
Organism. Yes, can affect the organism itself. So, looks like Miss Fabrio has advanced study about this topic of ours because she has already an idea about the cells in the tissue, which are the other parts that make up an organism. So Miss Fabrio said that um, when a smoker inhales the smoke, there are particles that goes in and destroys and might affect the organism itself. So that's it. That's a very good observation and explanations of yours, Miss Fabrio. And I would like to commend you for researching and studying in advance about that topic. So as we continue, you have now the idea that the organism has different parts and that if an organism has an organ system or the organs does not function properly, it will affect the whole organism itself. So in the next slide, we will now discuss about what is an organism. So an organism refers to a living thing that has an organized structure, can react to stimuli, reproduce, grow, adapt, and maintain homeostasis. An organism would therefore be any animal, plant, fungus, protist, bacterium, or archaeon on Earth. So, we are an organism. We humans are organism. So it can also be the animals around us, the plants, the fungus, the protists, and the other very small organisms that cannot be seen by the naked eye. So that is an organism. So it is a living thing that has an organized structure, of course, because it is composed of its different parts with the different functions. Next slide. We have multicellular organisms are made of many parts that are needed for survival. These parts are divided into levels of organization. There are 5 levels: the cells, the tissue, the organs, organ systems, and the organism. All living things are made up of cells. So you have mentioned earlier the cells. Miss Fabio mentioned the cells. So cell is the basic unit of life. So we have now mentioned here in the last slide, it is mentioned there the different levels, the 5 levels of organization. So this is what makes up the organism. Next, we will now discuss the levels one by one. So we will be starting from the smallest, the cells. So yes, cells. The cells are the basic building blocks of living things. The human body is composed of trillions of cells, all with their own specialized function. So, you would think that cells have its function itself, but there are many cells in the body which will be tackled in the next years. So these specific cells have their different functions, and they carry out these functions every day in our body. So we cannot be able to fully understand or see with our naked eyes because they are very small, and we will be needing to use a microscope to be able to see them. So that is the cell. The cell is the basic unit of all living things. Next in the level of organization are the tissues. So Ms. Fabrio also mentioned tissues earlier, and tissues are groups of cells that have similar structure and act together to perform a specific function. So the tissues is bigger than the cells because they are a group of cells already, and they also carry out their own function. So the tissues also have their specific functions like the cells. They carry out these functions to maintain stability in the body, and yes, that's it. So that an organism will be functioning properly, like as humans. So every day we have our different activities. We carry out certain activities that are we need that are example our daily activities from eating, that are carried out by the different organ systems, eating, breathing, which is supervised by our respiratory system, and many other functions that takes place every day. Next, after the tissues, we have now the organs. So the organs are differentiated structure such as the heart, kidney, leaf or stem, consisting of cells and tissues and performing some specific functions in an organism. So the organs are now bigger than those of the tissues. Organs include the heart, the kidney, the bladder, the organs that can be found in the digestive system, the stomach, and many other more, and they also carry out their individual functions. Next, yes, we have now the organ system. The organ system is a group of organs that work together to perform one or more functions. Each does a particular job in the body and is made up of certain tissues. So the organ system now are a group of organs, as you have mentioned earlier. The circulatory system, the respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system, and many other systems. They work together in order to fulfill their functions. As what Miss Risa May mentioned earlier, that this in the ballpen activity, that each part has their function and they are interrelated. So same goes with this organ system. The organs are interrelated with one another, and with that, they work together in order to fulfill a particular job in the body. And they are made up of tissues. Next. So, next, after that organ system is the organism. So those are the 5 levels of organization. We have the cells, the tissues, the organs, organ system, and the organism. So that was our lesson for today. From cell to organism, the levels of organization. So I would like to ask Miss Fabrio, Can you recall the 5 levels of organization?
First is the cell, tissue, organ system, and organism.
Okay, thank you, Miss Fabio. Correct. So, Miss Risa May, how are these how is these levels of organization related to each other?
Levels of organization are interrelated with each other because cell is the basic unit of life and the other organ system are interrelated with each other and it cannot our body cannot function well if one of these organization is failed to do their job properly.
Okay, thank you, Miss Morales. So they will not fulfill their jobs if one of them uh, is is not functioning properly and does not perform their job accordingly because it will affect the others. So that's correct, Miss Morales. And last, I would like to ask Miss Fabrio, how can we be able to avoid diseases and take care of our organ systems?
Eat proper balanced diet, sleep, sleep, not, don't sleep late.
Yes.
Um, Avoid doing bad habits, especially drinking alcohol
Yes.
or liquors or smoking,
Yes,
and
that's correct.
exercise regularly.
Okay, that's correct, Miss Fabrio. And how about you, Miss DePalio? How do you take care of your body? Can you share with us or give your classmates any tips on how to take good care of our body?
Avoid eating such dairy products such as noodles, fried foods, and also do exercise.
Okay, so you have the same thing as Miss Fabio as what as have said earlier. So thank you so much. I hope that those practices on how to take good care of the body will be applied in reality so that we can avoid diseases as what we have seen in the video earlier because it will affect our body and it will not carry out the functions that it is supposed to do. So let us give our body the proper care and importance. It should always come first. So that's our lesson for today. We should always remember that no matter how small or big that part or that level in the level of organization, they carry out a specific function that no other can do than them. So we should take good care of them and appreciate them in our daily life so that we can live a healthier life and we can take good care of them. So for our assignment, I will be posting our assignment in our Google Class. So just wait and prepare for our next topic for the next session. And I hope that you have learned a lot today. So that's it for today's lesson. Thank you so much. God bless and have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Um,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.